I know you're about as tired as I am of watching gameplay trailers for upcoming MMOs only for the game in question to look absolutely nothing like what we've been led to believe they are, which is why I was excited when Mugen was announced. They showed us exactly what the game looks like and I appreciate that. Breakers, which is another exciting upcoming anime game I'm eagerly anticipating, did the same recently and I want to let you all know what to expect. This could replace Genshin Impact, it could replace Blue Protocol, Tower of Fantasy, or whatever anime game you're disappointed with. Breakers Unlock the World is a large upcoming anime RPG from Vic Game Studios. It was announced at Tokyo Game Show 2023 and featured both a gameplay teaser and trailer separated days apart. From what we've seen, the game will be very narrative driven. It'll feature a predetermined main character, a beautiful world, and pretty fluid action combat. Yes, Breakers will be entirely free to play. The reason for a free business model is due to the gacha nature of the game. A lot of games, including MMOs, are implementing gacha elements. Tower of Fantasy, Blue Protocol, Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds, Dragon Raja, Grand Saga, Odin Valhalla Rising, and Noah's Heart are all gacha MMOs. With the success of gacha as a type of monetization, it seems only natural to implement it in a game that would largely benefit from it. It was announced that Breakers would be fully cross-platform compatible between PC and mobile. I know, ew, why mobile, Sticks? Because most games these days are releasing with mobile functionality, and it guarantees significantly more money in the long term. Some of the most popular games around the world are either mobile compatible or working on mobile functionality. Genshin, RuneScape, Albion Online, Black Desert. Being cross-platform compatible with mobile is only bad if the game is built as a mobile game rather than with mobile functionality in mind. Action, complete action combat. Based off of what we've seen from trailers, there are going to be a number of different characters you can pull for through gacha, and every single character will feature their own distinct combat style. We only saw a few characters in the trailer, but the combat was based in high fantasy. Magic, swords, and the combat looked and actually felt pretty smooth, very fluid. Not as flashy as something like Punishing Grey Raven, but it felt slower and more strategic. Both types of combat are good and serve their own purpose, and I really don't think either is inherently better than the other. They state that it will feature an open world to explore, but that's a little vague. Games like Final Fantasy XIV are considered open world, yet the areas are segregated, meaning that they're split from other zones by a loading screen. Black Desert Online also features an open world, and that has no loading screens whatsoever and is entirely seamlessly accessible. So, we'll have to wait and see which type of world they adopt. Not in the traditional sense, there will be class archetypes. Each character you recruit will fit into a certain mold. Tanks, DPS, ranged or melee, supports, healers. This means that every character will suit a different situation and scenario, bringing with them their own unique benefits, their own drawbacks. Meaning that team composition and growth is going to be an important aspect of the game. Before we discuss Breakers in any further detail, however, allow me to thank our patrons over on Patreon. You guys are part of the reason that I can continue to push out videos like these, and I greatly appreciate you all. You guys are absolutely incredible. Now back to the video. Unfortunately, there will be no character creation in any capacity. However, that does not mean that there won't be any customization for your character. It's unconfirmed whether you're forced into playing as a single gender, a predetermined character, or if you can choose either male or female and customize aspects like the outfit of your character, maybe the hairstyle or the hair color. I mean, like, this is a gacha game. If there are more powerful characters, SSR heroes or 6-star heroes, and you can obtain them via real currency gacha pulls, then there will be pay to win. Although the severity of pay to win is entirely dependent on whether there will be cooperative play. If you can engage in PvP like in Tower of Fantasy, then yes, pay to win will be horrendous. If there's only co-op PvE, then you can likely get carried by whales and it won't be nearly as bad. But if it's single player, who will the pay to win even affect? What is there to win? Bragging rights over higher damage numbers? I think this is one of the largest concerns players have We all hate censorship in our games, but Korea is known for producing some pretty explicit titles, significantly more so than other Asian developers. But with this in mind, I wouldn't expect Breakers to be particularly censored, especially after that specific scene we see in the trailer between the main character and the female mage. At least I think she was a mage. In retrospect, I was very distracted during that scene, but you know which scene I'm talking about. We don't have any confirmation of cooperative play at present. The world itself definitely seems pretty massive. However, I'm 50-50 on whether the game will feature multiplayer functionality, which would mean that it carries a fairly large chance that there's no massive aspect at all. Unfortunately, they haven't elaborated on gear currently, whether you'll farm gear in the way you farm artifacts in Genshin Impact, or if there will be a gear system present in any capacity. Please, God, if any devs are watching this, please don't give us another artifact system. Nobody, absolutely nobody, likes grinding RNG artifacts. Currently, the studio plans on releasing Breakers globally. I couldn't find any information online about any type of region locking, so players all over the world should theoretically be able to access the game without restriction, which is great news for us. Their other game, Black Lower M, doesn't seem to be region restricted, at least I don't think it is. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. At present, the devs haven't confirmed any dates for beta tests, either closed, open, or alphas. That doesn't mean that they have no plans for one. I'm sure, given their announcement at Tokyo Game Show 2023, they have something planned for the very near future. Given the amount of content we saw in this trailer, I'd speculate they're honestly not too far from a test phase of sorts. If they do plan on holding a beta test, I'll make sure to update you all though, so I'll be sure to keep an eye on it for you. Honestly, we don't know. What we do know though is that they are far enough through the development process that they have characters, they have combat, and entire areas built. There is no pre-registration available yet, but I wouldn't expect that to be all that far off. Typically, studios open pre-registration when they're nearing the completion of the game. If we're lucky, we might get the game next year in 2024, and I could not be more excited. And that's Breakers, an absolutely gorgeous anime-inspired action RPG from a studio that really hasn't developed much, which could be good or bad. This could be an insanely good game or end up ultimately disappointing us, who knows. Now, if Breakers isn't of interest to you, no problem. I got you covered with 2 videos on screen right now.